JBNN, we keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones, and in the news, 63-year-old Mason killed at home in front of family. 63-year-old Mason Jerome Ferron was shot and killed while at home with his family on Monday. The incident occurred in the vicinity of Havana Heights in Denby, Clarendon, sometime after 2 a.m. According to police reports, Ferron was at home with his family when a gunman kicked off the front door to the dwelling and shot him in the upper body. The police were alerted and the body taken to a funeral home in Maypen. A police investigation has been launched into the murder. Human skeletal remains found in bushes in Clarendon. The Council Police in Clarendon have launched an investigation to determine the identity of skeletal remains that were found in the Bullet Mountain Forest Reserve in the parish on Tuesday. It is reported that about 1:30 p.m., a forest technician was doing inspections when he stumbled upon the remains. The police were notified and investigators processed the scene and it was removed by a funeral home for storage. Further investigation is being conducted to see if anyone will assist in the identification. The initial findings suggested that the death occurred several years ago. Wheelchair-bound man killed in vehicle collision in Portland. A wheelchair-bound man was killed on Monday evening when a Toyota Axle motor car crashed into him along the Orange Bay Main Road in Portland. The deceased has been identified as Michael Cargill of Orange Bay in the parish. Reports are that Cargill was at his gate in his wheelchair around 6:12 p.m. when the driver of a white Toyota Axle motor car, who was driving easterly along the Orange Bay Main Road, lost control of the vehicle. The vehicle collided with a grey Toyota Ipsum that was parked on the left side of the roadway before hitting Cargill, killing him on the spot. The police were summoned and the body removed to the morgue. This is the 5th fatal accident in Portland since the start of the year. 3 weeks ago, about 2 miles away in Spring Gardens, a trailer crashed into a pickup and a minibus, killing one person. Police investigations continue into the matter. Police seized gun and ammo in St. Andrew. Police in the St. Andrew South Division say they have seized a Taurus pistol, 1 Glock magazine, and 17 rounds of live ammunition in a joint military operation in the Whitfield area on Monday. The gun and ammunition were found in the roof of a building on a premises on Metcalf Road. No one was arrested in connection with the find. According to authorities, the operation on Monday follows several snap raids being conducted in the division as lawmen battle a rising crime in the area. Teen among 4 arrested in lottery scam operation. A teen is among 4 people who were arrested on Tuesday by members of the lottery scam task force following a police operation and 2 raids in West Village in Montego Bay, St. James. The operation emanated from an investigation at a business process outsourcing BPO company. Charged with the possession of identity information with intent are a 14-year-old student whose identity has been withheld, 21-year-old Osiah Leslie, Devasita Cumberland, and 19-year-old Omarion Hall. The accused are to appear in the St. James Parish Court on June 7, 2023. There seems to be no interest in stopping the guns. Prime Minister Andrew Holness said that the Caribbean region as a collective group must agree that greater resources must be placed on international security in the police services into our ability to gather intelligence and interdict and prosecute criminals. He was speaking on Monday during a 2-day regional symposium on violence attended by Caribbean community CARICOM leaders in Port of Spain, Trinidad. But we must also consolidate our efforts to lobby particularly the United States to assist us as we have assisted them in the war on drugs. They must assist us in the war on guns, Holness said.
In Jamaica, in the last 10 years, we have seized 8,036 illegal firearms. And I wouldn't tell you how many I think are still in the hands of criminals. Multiples of that. But the really important figure is that 12,641 Jamaicans were murdered by illegal firearms. Criminal organizations and gangs have been able to acquire illegal firearms with ease, even though they are not manufactured in the region. As a matter of regional security and foreign policy, we must coordinate and strengthen our efforts bilaterally with the United States and multilaterally through the UN system to secure greater control over the illegal export of small arms and light weapons to our region. This regional approach to prevent a dangerous substance from leaving our shores to get to the streets of North America is taken in the war on drugs. That's what it is. We spend effort, we spend time preventing an illegal substance getting to the shores of another country. A similar effort must be placed on ensuring that illegal guns don't leave their shores to come to our countries. Our children are being killed. Our young males are being killed with guns exchanged for drugs which head to North America. Our children are just as valuable as the children in North America. There has to be equal energy, effort, and attention paid to preventing illegal guns coming into our country as we pay effort, energy, and attention in preventing illegal drugs going to their country. In fact, the war on drugs will continue to be ineffective unless there is an equivalent and consummate war on guns. Ladies and gentlemen, before I close, one of the final things that need to happen in the region is that there has to be political consensus on what to do about crime and violence. The solution arc for dealing with the problem extends beyond the political cycle. In simple terms, the solutions are long-term. The political cycle is short-term. And therefore, there has to be a long-term pathway for the solutions to work. It means that you must have political consensus. You must take crime and violence out of the competitive political space and place it as a national priority, so that we can give our citizens a long-term pathway. There is no short-term solution to this problem. There is no flip of a switch. Well, there is, but we're not prepared to use it.
Government panel's findings contradict claims of slavery-like farm work conditions. The conditions under which Jamaican farm workers live in Canada are not akin to slavery, a Jamaican government review panel has reportedly found, contradicting claims of inhumane existence that emerged last year, August. In fact, a majority of the more than 100 workers interviewed have reportedly indicated that they are either satisfied or happy with their living conditions on the decades-old seasonal agricultural program that sees Jamaicans traveling to the North American country yearly. The report, with significant recommendations from a 7-member fact-finding team, is expected to be tabled by Labour and Social Security Minister Carl Sumuda in the House of Representatives in the coming days. Cabinet last September approved the appointment of the team, headed by trade unionist Helen Davis-White, to probe conditions under which Jamaicans are subjected to work after some complained of poor, inhumane conditions they face working on the overseas farms. The team, after visiting several farms, including where the first set of complaints originated, found that Jamaicans who work under the program were pleased with the conditions and indicated that they are quite good, well-placed sources confirmed on Monday. Both former and current workers were interviewed, and the responses range from unhappy and dissatisfied to excellent working conditions, said one source. The review team also looked at how farm workers are compensated, one source said. Jamaica's chief liaison service officer in Canada, Kenneth Phillips, had rebuffed claims of mistreatment by farm workers in the North American country, calling the reports misguided and unfounded. That staunch defense corroborated Samuda's repudiation of similar allegations of slave-like working conditions that have stoked a firestorm. Approximately 10,000 Jamaicans are part of the seasonal program, which began in 1966 and are spread across 655 farms in 10 provinces. About 80% are returning workers. Some Jamaicans had complained that while living and working in a developed country, their living conditions were such that rats were eating their food. They also said there were no clothes dryers, and so they were subjected to wearing cold clothes whenever it rained. They complained of living in crowded rooms, that they had no privacy, and that cameras were placed around their living quarters, causing them to feel as though they were living in prisons. In September, it was reported that more than 2,000 complaints of abuse or breaches of employment policies were filed against employees under the Seasonal Agricultural Work Program, according to Employment and Social Development Canada. Of that figure, only 43% resulted in inspections being initiated and action taken. The complaints were filed between April and August. Over an undeclared period, 599 employers under Canada's Temporary Foreign Worker Program or International Mobility Program were found to be non-compliant and were either hit with a financial penalty or banned from hiring temporary workers for a time. JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.